Hello, my name is Carlos Lee. I am the Director General of EPIC. EPIC is the European Photonics Industry Consortium. It's an association based in Europe, which has 800 member companies, all active in the field of photonics. Photonics at large, optics, fibers, lasers, for all kinds of applications, for solar, lighting, defense, space, telecommunication, consumer electronics. Our members cover the whole value chain from equipment manufacturers, material suppliers, component suppliers, up to some end users. EPIC exists for 20 years. We have 10 employees, and we provide a lot of services to our members, including technology meetings. From these technology meetings, we learn a lot of information ourselves. And it is with this background that I would like to present to you this report on the micro and nano optics. The presentation will cover a little bit on the technology, the markets, and the applications. I would, of course, much more have preferred to be with you in person and to be able to meet you, because I really want to make a bridge between Europe and Asia. As you can maybe see from my face, I am half Asian. My father is from Singapore. My grandfather is from China. My mother is from Belgium. I am born in Spain. This is why my name Carlos. Carlos is a Spanish name. Lee is from Singapore. I am learning Chinese, and I hope that in the future, my Chinese will be good enough so that I can really try to make a bridge and connect Europe and China. Let me start my presentation by sharing my screen on the photonics industry and this presentation on the potential of micro and nano optics in the European ecosystem. As I mentioned, EPIC exists for 20 years for the purpose of the European community, the European photonics community, to come together. We organize a lot of meetings, online meetings, physical meetings. We participate at exhibitions. We share market reports, all of these activities. And we have over 800 members. This presentation will be covering the potential of micro and nano photonics in Europe. We will cover what is nano and micro optics. So we will start from the basics. We will talk about the applications and the markets, review the European ecosystem, and explain how EPIC is working for this European photonics ecosystem. What are nano and micro optics? It is obviously the field of optics dealing with very small optical components. And it is a very old concept that exists in nature from many years ago. I hope that you can see the presentation and the slide, and you can read it by yourself if you want afterwards when you have time. But I would like to highlight some of the more concrete applications. As you can see, about the first endoscopes 200 years ago, it was already developed by Philip Bozzini. In the 20th century, Karl Storz and Olympus in Japan, they developed the first endoscopes for medical observation. It's already a long time ago. In this field of micro-optics, we can think of some Nobel Prize winners. Gabriel Lippmann, he proposed integral photography, which is a stereoscopic method using an array of small camera lenses. In 1940, the Nobel Prize winner Denis Gabor, he invented the Gabor superlens, which is a combination of two micro-lens arrays. In 1977, Kenichi Iga, he was the first to propose two-dimensional arrays of surface-emitting semiconductor lasers, what is well known as VCSELs. Nano and micro-optics are now everywhere, from the consumer electronics to the medical markets, including telecommunications. And it is now one of the hottest topics in photonics. Micro-optics, macro-optics. We can look at it into various categories of the scale, the precision, the manufacturing, optical properties, and applications. Macro-optics large scales from several millimeters to centimeters. Well, I should not go with my hands like this, but more like this, centimeters range. In micro-optics, we're talking about a small scale, typically in the sub-millimeter range. In precision, micro-optics have less stringent precision requirements. In micro-optics, they have high precision manufacturing due to sensitivity of the optical properties to minute variations in size and shape. Let me just check a moment that I am properly recording. Excuse me. I was checking that I was recording the presentation. Can you imagine how frustrating after making a 20 minutes presentation and you find out I forgot to click on record? Let's continue, sorry. Manufacturing. For micro-optics, you have conventional techniques such as grinding, polishing, and machining. But for micro-optics, you use more advanced techniques such as lithography, micro-machining, direct laser writing, molding. In micro-optics, you have the optical properties which are classical, refraction, aberration. In micro-optics, a wide variety of phenomena which can much more impact the optical performance, like diffraction, surface tension, micromechanical movement. In the applications, you will find micro-optics much more large-scale optical systems, such as telescopes, optical communication. But in micro-optics, you can find it in consumer electronics, in telecommunication, in biomedicine, or in scientific instruments. So the advantages of micro-optics are many. On the one hand, the miniaturization. Okay, that is one of the most important advantages of micro-optics, is the ability to miniaturize optical components and systems. Micro-optics, therefore, enable the design and fabrication of smaller, more portable optical systems. Micro-optics is also more precise, and they enable high levels of precision in the design and fabrication of optical components. Micro-optics allow for the creation of optical systems with very tight tolerances and improved performance and reliability. Cost effectiveness. Due to their small size, micro-optics components are generally less expensive to produce than large-scale optical components. Micro-optics can be fabricated using inexpensive techniques, making them a cost-effective option compared to classical optics. Versatility. Micro-optics components can be used in a wide range of applications, including telecommunications, data storage, biomedicine, environmental monitoring, and consumer electronics, due to the ability to miniaturize and customize optical components. And finally, the integration. Micro-optics allow for the integration of multiple optical components, reducing complexity, cost, and size. And this enables the creation of highly integrated and sophisticated systems. The applications and markets of nano and micro-optics. For example, display technologies. Nano and micro-optics play a crucial role in the development of high-resolution displays. For instance, for devices such as virtual reality devices, smartphones, televisions, computer monitors. The use of micro-optics can help to improve the display quality by controlling the light output and directing it towards the viewer, and this results into higher brightness, contrast, and color accuracy. Another application is optical communication. Micro and nano optics are used in the design of optical communication systems, and this includes fiber optic networks and free space optical communication systems. The precise control of light beams at these small scales, it enables higher data transmission rates and improved signal quality. Another application is biomedical. Micro-optics are used in a variety of biomedical imaging applications, and this includes endoscopy, confocal microscopy, and OCT, optical coherence tomography. These techniques use micro-optics to control the light beams used for imaging, to collect the reflected light to produce high-resolution images of biological samples. In the lighting, Nano and micro optics are used in the design of lighting systems, and this includes solid-state lighting, such as LEDs, light-emitting diodes, and also other efficient lighting technologies. The use of micro optics can help to improve the efficiency of these systems by directing the light output and improving the light distribution. Let's look a little bit at the markets. The consumer electronics market. As you can see, there is a good growth. The consumer electronics is a growing market for nano and micro optics because they are used in a wide range of consumer devices, including smartphones, laptops, televisions, gaming systems for the eye tracking, 3D sensors. They provide features such as improved displays, enhanced cameras, faster data transmission. The market is expected to grow due to increasing demand for more advanced and feature-rich consumer electronics. And you can see some of the numbers over here by the forecast of Statista. Some examples would be the micro-optics, for instance, by Jenoptik. Jenoptik is a large, well-established company in Jena. Jena in Germany is very famous for optics. On the bottom left, you can see the waveguides for augmented realities. This augmented reality device is made by Dispelix. Dispelix is also a member of EPIC, just as Jenoptik, and they are based in Finland. Some leading companies are involved in the consumer electronics using micro and nano optics. Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, and some of these companies like Huawei and Intel are members of EPIC. Another application is telecommunication. This market is also significant for micro and nano optics because they are used in a variety of communication systems, such as optical fibers, waveguides, photodetectors. They enable high-speed data transmission over long distances, improve network reliability, and increased bandwidth. The market is expected to grow due to the increasing demand for high-speed and reliable communication networks. And here also you can find some of the growth statistics from Globe Newswire. Some examples would be the micro-optics for optical coupling, for instance, from the company Nanoscribe. Nanoscribe is a company based in Karlsruhe in Germany. And on the bottom left, you can see from Heidelberg Instruments, also a German company, a waveguide of 2 micron. Some global companies which are looking at micro and nano optics for telecommunication: EPIC members Huawei and Lumentum, Coherent from USA, Nokia, Fujitsu from Japan, Cisco from USA. These are just some examples. In healthcare, the market is expected to have the highest growth for nano and micro optics because they are used in a variety of medical devices, such as endoscopes, microscopes, imaging, and spectroscopic-based systems. They enable high-resolution imaging, precise targeting, and improved diagnostic capabilities. The market is expected to grow due to the increasing demand for better healthcare technology and the growing aging population. And you can see the growth statistics from Allied Market Research. Some examples would be this medical wearable device, which is based on photonics. And it is an example from CSEM. CSEM is the research center in Switzerland. On the bottom right, you can see some diffractive gratings by Horiba. Horiba is also a member of EPIC. They are a Japanese company, but they have a very strong presence also in Europe and in France. Some of the leading companies in healthcare, such as Philips and Zeiss, also member of EPIC, are using micro and nano optics for healthcare. Also American companies like GE Healthcare or Japanese companies like Olympus. The market of automotive lighting and sensors is also expected to have a very big growth for nano and micro optics because they are used in a variety of automotive applications. For instance, driver assistance systems, lighting systems, and infotainment systems. They provide improved safety, enhanced driver comfort, and increased convenience. This market is expected to grow because of the increasing demand for ADAS, advanced driver assistance systems, and the growing trends towards autonomous vehicles. Here you can see some growth numbers from Fortune Business Insights. Some examples would be the light carpet by Zeus Micro Optics. Zeus Micro Optics is a company based in Neuchâtel in Switzerland, and they make this wafer level based micro optic. On the bottom, you can see an example of Hella, which is an automotive lighting company, and this system is manufactured by them. Global companies in the automotive lighting and sensors industry are Philips and Osram, which are members of EPIC, but also Valeo in France, Hella, Stanley, and some other companies. I will just drink a little bit. Let's now change the topic to the European ecosystem of photonics. The global photonics market share, if you look at the statistics, sometimes I find them misleading. It does not necessarily give the right image because it also includes activities such as displays, photovoltaic, and LED production, which China is very strong. But if we do not include those markets, then you will look at the numbers differently. And then Europe is really, in our view, taking the lead in optical components and in the customization. Also, the global market, I think Europe makes a contribution because we have so much innovation and creativity, which is coming from European research. And it was also a very, very dynamic market because we have a lot of small and medium-sized companies. This chart over here is provided by Tematis. Tematis is a market research firm which can be contracted for market research. They are based in France. And Photonics21 is what is the European public-private partnership, which involves the European Commission for photonics. If we zoom into the market within Europe specifically, Germany is the largest market with the photonics production. More than 40% of the production of photonics is from Germany. Next comes the United Kingdom and France with both 15%, followed by the Netherlands, Italy, Switzerland, and then the other countries. Many global companies come to Europe or are based in Europe because it is very attractive. You can see on the bottom left some of these big companies. Jabil, American company, has a presence in Europe, in Jena, Microsoft, Huawei, Meta, and Applied Materials. There are 4 segments that represent more than 60% of the photonics industry. And these are the applications for what is automated factory of the future, Industry 4.0. Then you have all the components and materials sector, environment, lighting and energy, and healthcare. So together, this represents more than 60% of the European photonics industry. And you can see on the chart some of the other smaller segments, such as defense, security, telecommunication, agriculture, mobility, instrumentation, or consumer. But the 4 major sectors for Europe is Industry 4.0, components and materials, environmental, lighting and energy, and healthcare. The global photonics market has grown by 7% per year, every year since 2015. And this is more than the global GDP growth. So photonics is exceedingly growing, is growing more than the global GDP. The global photonics market for photonics and systems, it's a total of $733 billion in 2019. The European photonics growth is 3 times the growth of the European GDP and almost 5 times of the whole European industry. So photonics is really important and doing well in Europe, as you can see from these figures. Europe was also able to maintain the market share and keep its number 2 position as a global player. Europe photonics industry is more than $100 billion in 2019. Europe photonics is more than 5,000 companies. But what is interesting for this industry photonics, and this compares with my background, I work for EPIC now 11 years in photonics. Before that, I worked 15 years in the semiconductor industry. In the semiconductor industry, most of the companies are very large companies. But in photonics, 83% have less than 100 employees. So the photonics industry is a new industry, an emerging industry, a very innovative industry. Photonics has contributed around 3% of the total manufacturing in Europe, and the size of the photonics industry is more than the size of the microelectronics industry. The European photonics employment growth, because number of employment is of course important to consider in Europe, the growth is twice that of the European industry. There were more than 30,000 new employments in these last 5 years, well, in the range of 2015 to 2019. So the European photonics market is a field with a remarkable dynamism, and micro-optics is and will be one of the engines of the ecosystem growth. The European ecosystem of micro and nano optics. And here you can see some examples. There are many more companies, of course. We cannot put all of them, but it gives an example of the companies which are in optical design, all the companies which are in micro-optical components manufacturers, all the system integrators, and all the end users. We put here some logos of companies, and again, this is a non-exhaustive list. There are many more companies than these. We just give some examples, and if you know some of these companies, maybe you will also recognize how they are scattered across Europe. Some companies, such as NIL Technology, is based in Denmark, EVG is in Austria, Optoman is in Lithuania, Photon Design is in the United Kingdom, Leti, the research center, is in France, Wilans UPMT is in Belgium. I could keep going on, but it's really across Europe. Why is the European market the place for photonics? Well, we believe that it is competitive based on these 4 reasons. The mass customization. The European micro-optics companies, they are specialized in mass customization. The global leading research centers and universities in the world are based in Europe. Europe is at the forefront of world innovation. The pool of highly qualified people coming from the European universities. And this is a great opportunity for these innovative companies because we need the people to innovate. The European market is mainly composed of small and medium enterprises, SMEs, which are characterized by a high degree of technological innovation. So I hope that you are convinced of the importance of Europe in the micro and nano optics market. Let me present to you something a little bit different, but it's part of the ecosystem. You have associations such as EPIC and Photonics21, which is the public-private partnership between the European Commission and the industry. And Photonics21 and the European Commission fund European initiatives. The below projects are projects where EPIC is involved, and these are manufacturing pilot lines. But not all of them are related specifically to micro and nano optics. But Fabulous is. Fabulous is funding opportunities to implement free-form micro-optical components, so free-form micro-optics. And it's a European pilot line, so a manufacturing pilot line with the purpose to support industrial projects from the optical design to the mass manufacturing across any applications from decoration and luxury, augmented reality, virtual reality, imagers and display, transportation, mobility, consumer electronics, automotive lighting, security, and also solar energy and daylight. So if your company is based in Europe, it can participate into those projects. As I mentioned, EPIC represents more than 800 members from the photonics ecosystem. 90% of these are based in Europe. EPIC helps to bring together the photonics industry. We have a strong network. 90% of our companies are small, but this is a reflection of the industry. We have a lot of small and medium enterprises and startups. And what we do at EPIC, we bridge all the parts of the photonics value chain, from the components to the end users. So We build a European photonics web network to maintain and support the European competitiveness. That is the purpose of EPIC. But personally, I help to make the bridge between Europe and the rest of the world. And it is therefore my pleasure to share this presentation with you in China. As I mentioned, EPIC was created 20 years ago in 2003 by Dr. Thomas Pearsall. EPIC is a team of 10 employees. Myself and Ulrike Helferich are the management team. We are supported by 5 events and marketing managers because we organize more than 60 events per year. And to ensure the content of the presentation, this presentation was prepared with the support of my colleague, Dr. Jérémy Picot-Clément. We have 3 technology managers. These technology managers focus on different applications. Dr. Antonio Castello is very well familiar with biomedical and lasers. Dr. Ivan Nikitsky knows very well the quantum, the electronic semiconductor, and photonic integrated circuits. And Dr. Jérémy Picot-Clément, he is our specialist for optics and micro-optics. EPIC as an industry association, we organize a lot of meetings, technology meetings, business meetings, a lot of networking, bringing the people together. We have a mentorship program where we bring together experienced entrepreneurs with startups. We provide market reports to our members. We help our members access international markets through international delegations. We provide human resource support by helping the companies hire. EPIC has the largest photonics employment website with more than 10,000 job openings. And in my personal responsibilities also, we help companies find investors. I thank you very much for your attention. I hope that I could share with you why Europe is competent in the field of micro and nano optics. I hope that I have encouraged you to explore more partnerships with Europe, and please do not hesitate to reach out to EPIC and to myself if we can be of any assistance. Thank you very much for your attention. 再见。